something. I've been calling you true believers for years. What the hell is it we believe? I never figured it out.
We believe in you, Stan!
Well, that's right. Have to be that far away from you?
Well, no. Didn't you notice I had them come out and move our chairs a little closer together?
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
They're stuck with me. What do I do?
Well, here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna ask you some questions. They're gonna ask you a lot of questions.
Easy ones, I hope.
And you just have to be your normal, funny self.
All right, we'll do the best we can.
All right. I know that you guys are dying to talk to Stan. There are people who work for Denver Comic Con in the audience. They're gonna come around to you folks. Don't get out of your seat. Just raise your hand if you have a question. And I'm gonna start off, Stan, by asking you, there's so many characters you've created over the years. Do you have one favorite character?
Well, I love them all, but if I have to pick a favorite, I think it would have to be Spidey. Good old Spidey. Have you ever noticed? I call him Spidey. I used to call Iron Man Shellhead. I had nicknames for all of them. Over at DC, they never called Superman Soupy, Batman Batty. I wonder why they're so formal, you know. But that's not part of this. Forget that I said that.
Do you like Tom Holland as the new Spider-Man?
Oh, he's wonderful. I was with him the other day. He is great. I can't believe it. It's as if we created a living being to be Spider-Man, and it turned out to be him. Really.
He's amazing. You're amazing. I love Spider-Man too. Okay, one more question before we go to the audience. Favorite cameo?
You know, it's hard to pick my favorite cameo, because as you know, they're all masterpieces. Unfortunately, this will frustrate you a little. I have a favorite, but I can't tell you what it is, because it hasn't appeared yet. I had to go to, where did I go? Somewhere on the East Coast, in Georgia, Atlanta, I don't know, somewhere in Minnesota. But I had to go there and do 3 cameos for 3 movies at the same time. One of the cameos I did is for the, what he's afraid of. Are you afraid I'm going to say what it is? Wait a minute.
You can do it!
I'm not going to say what the cameo is. I can't even mention the movie. It's a movie that will come out soon. You're gonna all want to see it because it's one of your favorites. And in that movie, I have a cameo where I'm dressed up as, I won't tell it, but you are gonna love it. So, in advance, that's my favorite cameo.
I love it. Okay, let's start over here. We have a ton of audience questions, so can you make your way over to the mic? Let's have people ready at the mics so that we can get through as many as a packed hall, and I want everybody to have a chance to talk to Stan, right?
Right. Whatever you say is right. Any gal that looks like that, she's always right.
I love you, Stan. Yes.
All right, Stan, so I know you're the god of comics, so I have to ask you this. I know I'm a little bit of a DC fan, so if there was a fight online, I'm asking if Batman had no suit and Superman was underneath the red sun, who do you think, in your professional opinion, would win?
of a fight between Superman and Batman? You're asking me? They both knock each other out.
Let's go over here.
I'm so happy to speak with you. Thank you for everything that you've done for the community and for everything. We appreciate it.
You are most welcome.
So,
See how generous and gracious.
the X-Men reflects a lot of the conflicts that we have in the world with diversity and acceptance and power and weakness. How does it make you feel knowing that your comics, people being able to read through that, has helped people get through a lot of hard times with accepting themselves and the conflicts they deal with in the world?
I'll show you why I'm so good at answering these questions, why I give such meaningful, clever answers. It makes me feel good. Actually, I love the X-Men. And one of the reasons I came up with the X-Men was to, in some subtle way, let the readers know that there's no such thing as somebody who's bad just because he or she is different.
I mean, that literally just made me tear up. That's amazing. Okay, let's go right here in the middle, right here.
Hello. In the spirit of Father's Day, I just wanted to ask if your parents were artistic and did you pick up a lot of your influences from them, your artistic influences from them?
No, I'm afraid not. My mother was just a wonderful mother, old-fashioned. And my father was actually a dress cutter. I never really knew what a dress cutter did. Cuts dresses, I guess. And it was during the time of the Depression, and he wasn't working that much. And that was it, but they weren't artistic, really. My mother did one good thing. She loved the fact that I liked to read, and she would take the last few dollars, if she had them, and buy me books and magazines and things like that. And that was great for me, and it was great that she did that. But they themselves were not artistic, no. That was the most serious answer I ever given in 20 years.
We want to know what it was like for Little Stan. So it's awesome. Yes, let's go way over here.
Hi Stan, I wanted to ask you a question. When you came up with Spider-Man, did you think it'd be the icon that he is today? It'll be up there with Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, Superman, and the Coca-Cola bottle?
No, I hoped it would sell. Oh, did I ever tell you how Spider-Man started? How I got the thing to be published? Did I
This is
tell you
a
that
great story.
I did tell you. Oh,
Only me, but not them.
oh, I told you. But not them?
It's a great story. How
Can
is
you
it?
tell it? I don't. It's kind of a long story, so get comfortable. I had already done the Fantastic Four and whatever else, maybe the X-Men. I don't remember the order they were in, but my publisher said to me, "Hey, we're doing pretty good. Why don't you come up with another superhero?" Well, when you work for a publisher and he says that, you'd better come up with one or you might lose your job. So I went home and I started thinking. And I saw a fly crawling on the wall. And I said, gee, wouldn't it be cool if a superhero could stick to walls like an insect? No, I'm not telling the truth. I don't think the word cool was in use then. I probably said, wouldn't it be groovy? But you know what I mean. So I thought that was a good idea. Then I thought, well, what'll I call the guy? And I thought, Fly Man, Insect Man, Mosquito Man. I didn't like the sound of them. But then I thought, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. It sounded dramatic. So, okay, I had a name. And I had a superpower. He could crawl on walls. And if he was a Spider-Man, maybe he'd even shoot webs. I got real excited. Then I thought, to make it even better, I'll make him a teenager. Because as far as I knew, there weren't any teenage superheroes. And then, to make it the best of all, I said, I'll give him a lot of personal problems. I got so excited by it, I ran into my publisher's office, and I told him, and my publisher, who was not the brightest man in the world, said to me, Stan, that is the worst idea. He said, first of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a hero Spider-Man. A hero can't be a teenager, because a teenager can only be a sidekick. And you want him to have personal problems? Don't you know what a superhero is? So I walked out of the office with my tail between my legs. I was defeated. But then I realized we had a book we were killing called Amazing Fantasy. Now, when you're going to kill a book, nobody cares what you put into the last issue. You're killing it anyway. So to get it off my chest, I put Spider-Man in that book and featured him on the cover. Well, it was the best-selling book we had my publisher raced into my office a month later when the sales figures came in. And I swear, he said, Stan, do you remember that character Spider-Man of yours that we both liked so much? He said, why don't you turn it into a series? And that's how Spider-Man was born.
I told you guys it was a good story. Yes. Let's go all the way over here.
Now I am deaf, I don't hear a thing.
Okay, we'll come back to that one. Let's go right here.
Hello, we heard who your favorite character is for superheroes, but how about your cast of villains? Who would be your favorite villain?
Well, he's not our biggest villain at Marveldom, but my favorite has always been Dr. Doom. Funny thing about him, I don't know if you've ever thought of this. See, I like opening up your minds, helping to expand your minds and your intellect and so forth, and giving you things to think of you never thought of. Have you ever thought that Dr. Doom is really not a criminal because all he wants to do is rule the world? Now, any one of you could walk up to a policeman at any time outside and say, officer, I want to rule the world. He can't arrest you. It's not a crime to rule the world. I don't know why they made such a big thing about Dr. Doom.
I agree.
Maybe I'm purposely naive.
Great question. You're doing great, by the way. Let's go back over here. I think they got the mic over.
So for your cameos in the movies, do you get to pick them or does someone pick them for you?
I would love to say that I create those cameos. Because then you would say to yourself, man, he's even better than I thought. But no, they'll say, Stan, we'd like you to come to the studio. We are ready to do your cameo. And I have no idea what I'm going to do. I go there, and they say, okay, stand over here, say that, thank you. Now go on, get home so you don't bother the actors. And the funny thing about it, I don't know if I've ever told you this, you have to go to wardrobe when you do a cameo, so they put the right clothes clothes on you. So there was a time, and this happened more than once actually. I'd come for a cameo or for something I was doing in a film, and I'd be wearing my usual jeans and sneakers and a white shirt and maybe a green sweater. And I'd walk into the wardrobe, and the wardrobe mistress would say, "We have a green sweater for you and a white shirt and jeans and sneakers." And I'd say, "Well, great, I'm already wearing it." "No, you can't wear yours. You have to put ours on. I have to take off what I'm wearing, put on the exact same thing." I don't know how movies ever make money.
Yes, hi, we'll go right here.
How'd you come up with Iron Man?
Say that again, sweetie.
How'd you come up with Iron Man?
Well, that's kind of strange. I was drunk with power. Because everything we had was selling well. The fans loved them. And I said, I wonder if I could make the fans love a character who represents everything that none of them care for. So at that, when I came up with Iron Man, everybody was against the war. We hated munitions makers, things like that. We weren't too happy with rich people. So I said, I'm going to make him a billionaire. He makes weapons for the army. He does all the things that the teenagers hated at that time. And I'm going to make him like it. And I think I called him the invincible Iron Man. I always feel you need an adjective for these characters. And that first Iron Man movie was so great. And the actor, Robert Downey Jr. I spoke to Downey the other day, and I said, everybody calls you Robert. Does anybody ever call you Bob? And he said, sure, you can call me Bob, or Bobo, or Babu, or Bob, whatever you want. I said,
Incredible,
Bob.
Yes, hi.
Thank you for coming, Stan. My question to you is, what is the most memorable piece you've ever written?
The most memorable thing I've ever written? I can't even say. I've written so many things, and you may not be aware of this, and this will come as a surprise to you. I am my biggest fan. I love everything I've written.
I think we're our biggest fans, right?
Thank you. I mean, sometimes I'll look at an old thing I wrote. It'll be laying around the desk and I'll draw someone and say, wow, that was good. I didn't realize I was so good. I get that reaction every time I read something.
You are so good. Yes. Next over here.
In all the movies you have been in, which one is your favorite?
Gee, that's a hard one. I got a big kick out of Mallrats. Funny thing about that, in the movie I'm talking to the boy who was the lead, who was very unhappy because he was having trouble with his girlfriend. And I mentioned to him, I said, you know, I remember, this was in the movie. I said, I remember I once had a girlfriend and I lost her, but I've never forgotten her. And I think about her all the time, something like that. Well, I went home and my wife said to me, now what is this about that girlfriend? And I learned you have to be very careful how you explain movies to your wife.
Yes, hi, right there.
Stanley, which was your most memorable quote that you have made?
Well, I would have to say one that must be memorable because people use it so much. And it's with great power comes great. Yeah, I forgot it. Comes great responsibility. I remember that I think it was Rhode Island. For some reason, I had to go to Rhode Island about 15 years ago. And I had to visit the district attorney. And I wasn't being arrested for anything. And on his door, as I walked into his office, was a little thing in bronze, and it said, "With great power comes great responsibility." And he had taken it from the Spider-Man comic book. I was very impressed, you know. I had a district attorney who read Spider-Man.
Yes, hi. Where? Okay.
I was wondering, who were you modeling your characters after originally? Who was your inspiration for your characters?
That's an interesting question. I don't think so. I really think I dreamed them all up. I didn't know anybody really with the same personality as the Thing. Or the Green Goblin. Well, they were all dreamed up, but I think when you're a writer and you create characters, all of the books you've read are somewhere in the back of your mind, and all of the people you know are in your memory. And I'm sure you think a little bit of this person and that person that you've read about or that you've known. But on a conscious level, I never really used, well, maybe one character, Reed Richards, who I tried to write it so that he talked too much. And he bored the Thing and Johnny and even Sue. They couldn't shut him up. He was always talking and explaining things. So I think I based him a little bit on me. Also, he was the smartest guy in the world, so I must have based him on me.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we have time for 2 more questions. Yes.
My question is, out of all the Avengers, who would you consider to be the most human?
They're all human. By human, let's see what he would be. Who's in the Avengers? Everybody. I wish I had a list of them in front of me. But I think Tony Stark, Iron Man, he's about as human as you come. He loves the women, he loves money. Yeah, I say Tony Stark.
Okay, last question over here.
Hi there. What was your inspiration for Deadpool, and what was it like to meet Ryan Reynolds?
Oh, I wish you hadn't asked that. I hate to say this, but I can't win them all. I did not create Deadpool. I wish I had. I love Deadpool. He's a brilliant character. I didn't create him. So I can't tell you what my inspiration for him was, except I just hate the guy who created him, whose name I forget. But I do know him, I just forget. I don't have the greatest memory, and you may have realized that. What was the second part of that question?
The actor who played Deadpool.
Oh, the actor is wonderful. Oh, you know, I think one of the funniest lines in any superhero movie was in Deadpool, when he's fighting and shooting all these other bad guys, and he looks at the shells left in his gun, and he says, "I've only got 11 shells. You'll have to share." I think that was brilliant. Whoever wrote that. See, I sometimes can even like what somebody else does.
Stan, do you a character that is still inside you that you want to create now? Are there more things that you're working on?
Oh, millions of I have one. You'll see him in about a year. We're working on him at my company, POW Entertainment. He's called The Annihilator. And I'm not allowed to tell you anything about him, but you're gonna love him. He'll be out in about a year or so, and he'll be my first brand new Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Iron Man type of superhero. So remember, The Annihilator.
But I personally, I just love every second I get to spend with you, and I'm sure everyone out here feels the same way.
I realize the only reason I do it is to spend this intimate moment with you.
Oh.
Hey, you people are really, oh, wait a minute. Do I see one empty seat up there? I'm not going to be here. There's an empty seat. I'll fill that seat.
They ran down to take your picture.
Anyway, you are the greatest audience, the greatest fans. Thank you.